So I'm going to provide a little bit of guidance for this morning's meditation, less than I have provided in the last few sessions. So if you find yourself doing this practice of central channel yoga and feel like you would benefit from more when you're doing this practice on your own at home at times other than 8:30 to 9 on Monday and Friday mornings. Of course, please feel free to go back and watch/listen to the YouTube recordings from the last 3 or 4 classes, and that'll give you the complete guidance for central channel yoga. As we move forward over the next few classes, I'll be providing less and less guidance in the practice so that you can sort of become familiar with it and practice it on your own without the guidance. So without further ado, why don't we go ahead and settle in? When you have settled into a comfortable meditation posture, using whichever method you find most effective, please allow both your physical body and your mind to start to settle and rest, to become quiet and still. Now, please gently transition into your practice of central channel yoga. With each inhalation through your nostrils, please observe the sensation of air moving across the tips of your nostrils. And then observe that prana moving down to the lower end of your central channel, fluidly and instantaneously. On the subsequent exhalation, observe your winds moving up to the crown of your head and then down to the point in between your eyebrows. Subsequent inhalation back up to the crown of your head, down to the lower tip of your central channel. And repeat this pattern for a couple of moments, please. Please gently modify your practice, allowing your winds to move down to your navel chakra on the inhalation and up to your throat chakra on the exhalation, back down to your navel chakra on the subsequent inhalation. And please repeat this pattern for a couple of moments. Very gently allow your prana to move down to a point about halfway between your navel chakra and your heart chakra on the inhalation, to a point about halfway between your throat chakra and your heart chakra on the exhalation. And gradually, gently allow your winds to move a shorter and shorter distance along your central channel until your winds and your awareness come to rest within your heart chakra. Your heart chakra, of course, being the seat of your innate love and compassion. And once your winds and your awareness have settled at the center of your heart chakra, please just rest. No doing is required. Nothing needs to be added. Just rest and silently observe and enjoy. for each of us. For each of us, there is nothing more important to us, nothing that we want more than to love and to be loved. For each of us, there is nothing more important to us, nothing that we want more than to be compassionate. So what could possibly be better than resting in our own heart of love and compassion, deepening it, becoming more familiar with it? Just continue to rest, abide, and observe in your heart chakra, the seat of your love and compassion. Please gently resume your practice of central channel yoga, allowing your winds to travel along your central channel between your navel and throat chakras. Please allow your prana to travel the entire length of your central channel, mounted upon your inhalation and your exhalation. Please become aware again of your physical body. Please become aware again of the garments of clothing resting on the surface of your physical body. Allow your breathing to become less shallow. Become aware again of your surroundings inside the room you're occupying. Become aware again of the world that exists outside of the room that you're occupying. We dedicate all of the merit from this morning's meditation to world peace. May all beings without exception experience unconditional love and compassion. May all beings without exception offer or give unconditional love and compassion. And may we individually contribute directly to world peace by deepening and becoming more familiar with our own innate capacity for love and compassion. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Welcome back, everyone. So we are next going to venture into the second of the six perfections, the second paramita, the perfection of moral discipline. This is a special perfection. They're all special, of course. And I think that the perfection of moral discipline can play a special part for us at this point in our Dharma practice, because the practice of moral discipline being being the guarding, if you will, the guarding of our actions of body, speech, and mind, and particularly beneficial for us because the majority of these practices of moral discipline happen during the meditation break. We do our formal sitting practice, the meditation session, and through this second perfection, the perfection of moral discipline, especially moral discipline of bodily actions and verbal actions, we're able to practice Dharma at times other than when we're sitting, which constitutes the majority of our day, actually. I can't overstate the importance of us applying effort to training our mind during the meditation session. Maybe someday we can get to a point where we practice, where our formal sitting meditation practice is like that of Alan Cooper. Alan Cooper, a meditation teacher here, long time meditator. He does one extensive retreat every year where he does a silent sitting retreat for 2 months. He travels to Nepal, does a 2-month retreat. He literally these 2 months is comprised of sitting meditation, sleeping, and eating. That's all he does. And even when he is at home, Alan's a friend of mine and a Sangha friend, so he shared some of the details of his personal practice. Do you know that even when Alan is at home here in Silver City, he meditates 4 hours a day? 4 hours a day. It's unbelievable, really. And so let's just take a minute, you guys, and do the math. Even if we were able to get to a point, hopefully we will. I don't want to talk about it as though it's an impossibility, but even if we were to get to a point where we were meditating 4 hours a day, very, very substantial daily practice. So let's take a full day of 24 hours, subtract the 4 hours of meditation, that still comprises 20 hours each day when we're not engaged in sitting meditation practice. Well, we might say, well, don't forget about sleep. You can't really hold us accountable for, we really can't hold ourselves accountable for not meditating when we're sleeping, right? I would say, okay, that's fair enough. So 24 hours minus 4 hours of sleeping, or sorry, of sitting meditation practice, that leaves 20 hours. Deduct 8 hours of a day for sleep. That still leaves 12 hours a day. 12 hours a day, a very substantial part of each day where we're not sitting, we're not sleeping. And if we're serious about training our mind, we need to apply ourselves. We need to do something with that time to deepen and become more familiar with practice of training the mind, and hopefully the fruits, the challenges of training the mind and the fruits that come from training the mind. One practice that we talked about on Friday was bringing our awareness to the center of our heart chakra as often as we can during our meditation break. Just being aware all the time of this part of our subtle body that is the seat for our love and compassion, and just abiding, allowing part of our awareness to abide in that consciousness, whether we're driving our car, whether we're walking around our house, whether we're waiting in line, shopping at the grocery store, talking with a loved one, whatever it might be. I also want to make an appeal for mantra practice. Remember, we've talked about mantra practice from time to time as part of our preliminary practices, but mantra practice is so easy and so beautiful and so effective. And how about we start thinking about doing mantra practice, start incorporating into our practice during the meditation break, the mantra of compassion, Om Mani Padme Hum. That's it, really easy and really short. Short and therefore really easy to memorize. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. On Friday, we talked about some of us have this mindfulness practice, intentional or not, of the song of the day going through our head over and over, right? What if we substituted the mantra of compassion with the song of the day? It would be so much more meaningful for us to just have the mantra of compassion, Om Mani Padme Hum, rolling over and over in our head, and just become that kind of our default for mindfulness practice during the meditation break. There are a lot of beautiful versions and versions of the mantra of compassion and beautiful renditions of the mantra of compassion. Om Mani Padme Hum, musicians like Deva Premal has a beautiful song with the mantra of compassion. The one that I learned, I'll sing it for you, and it's so nice. When we recite the mantra internally or externally, when we're at home perhaps or driving in our car, we can do it. We can recite the mantra like we have maybe seen some of these monks, these old kind of grizzled monks, money payment home, money payment home, money payment home, you know, totally valid practice of that, of course. But we can also add a melody to it to make it more pleasant, like for some of us, more pleasant and more kind of melodious, if you will. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. I don't do, I'm, no singer, but you kind of get the idea that we can make it a little song, like a little melody, kind of a pleasant aspect of our day, or maybe the kind of, guttural, kind of really deep, works for us. What I will do after this meditation session is I'll send you a couple of links to couple of YouTube links of some of my favorite renditions of the mantra of compassion. And heck, maybe you've got a sound system around your house where you can play it. Maybe you can play the mantra of compassion while you're washing dishes or house cleaning or whatever. Yeah. There are fun, easy, pleasant ways to train the mind. Doesn't always have to be heavy lifting. And mantra yoga, becoming one with the mantra, is for me, one of the most pleasant, most beautiful ways to practice. So I hope you'll give that some consideration during the meditation break, in addition to practices that are revealed through the second of the 6 perfections, the perfection of moral discipline. One last thing, you guys, speaking of Alan Cooper, he's going to be offering a series of classes on the Noble Eightfold Path of Buddhism. Alan, I've got a tremendous amount of respect for him. He's been practicing for a long time, 40 years, something like that. In terms of commitment to practice and knowledge of the Dharma, they don't come much more qualified than Alan Cooper. And we're really fortunate to have him presenting an 8-class series on the Noble Eightfold Path of Buddhism. It's going to start in mid-September. And all the information is up on Lotus Center's webpage. Go to lotuscentersc.org, and on the events page, you can get information on the dates and times and everything else. Okay? So thank you, guys. Thank you for being here. Have a blessed day and a blessed week.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, Jeff. Goodbye.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you. See
Bye,
you.
everyone.
See you
Bye,
Friday.
Tina.